Hello everyone, this is ETH Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. So this Ether Raids replay video is super awkward because I'm actually recording the intro here a few days after the season has already ended, because on that particular Monday I was way too busy and was unable to live commentate the replays. I did record silently all the replays for this week with animations and whatnot, so we're going to do the ultra jank thing of commentating over a recording of the recording. Oh gosh, so terrible. Rip the frames, but here we go. Alright, so okay, there we go. Already off to a jank start, but it'll be fine. Just ignore the overlaid double recording buttons. But this week, well, I forgot to change out Crom at the start of the season, so this happened. Not the greatest idea, but just solid execution by this person. Number one issue, of course, is Duma anti-synergizes with Crom with Upheaval. So this particular Altina actually just survived the shot from Crom, and she would have survived regardless, even without Upheaval shenanigans. So didn't really matter. But at the end of the day, Duma falling short of picking up the one-round KO on Brave Ike by a long shot, of course, and with E3 just going to heal most of the damage back. Not much to say about this replay at this point. They're just going for cleanup and ultra awkwardness for forgetting to kick out Crom. I don't know why I forgot, but now that Altina is below 80% HP, Survivalist Bow does not prevent Altina's counterattack, so she can just Vantage kill Shamir trivially. And it's GG's at this point, just picking up the Ether Structures. And well, the number one thing I wanted to talk about in this video was Choose Your Legends. Of course, the most recent Choose Your Legends 5 Brave Heroes just arrived on their banner. And all I have to say about that banner as a super quick summary is Brave Erica. Moving on. That's my number one pick for my free 5-star hero. That's pretty much it. Everyone else is either a meme gimmick, a meme, or I just don't need them. So, and it's not like I even need Erica. It's just, as silly as it sounds, I'm picking the best of the worst in the batch, so that's not really saying much for me. But plus 38 res on Ike here with Unity, plus 41 here against Duma just means he's going to take a negligible damage from Duma. Feels bad. Shoulda put Moonbow on Duma Kappa. But at least we get to snipe down one unit here with Laurentiel. That's pretty much all she does. I don't really think people at this point are too scared to even just bait her out with a tank, because the rest of the team doesn't really do much. I also kind of screwed up this week or this particular season and forgot to give Elowood Quick and Pulse Seal. It was I think it was Swift Sparrow on him. So he was really not doing much this season, and when he needed to do stuff, he didn't do it because it's, well, Elowood, so what would you expect? But Lif doing quite a bit of damage to Fallen Ike here. Not quite picking up the one-round KO, but of course Fallen Ike can't pick up the one-round KO, so that means Lif gets another attack to take out Ike, and that's a rip for Ike. But yeah, well, I'll be making a video about actually summoning on the Choose Your Legends 5 banner. I'm not going to be summoning with orbs, it's just the free summons, and then of course the free actual 5-star pickup. We'll see what we get. I'm not expecting to pick up more than... I think we're only going to get one 5-star, but we'll see what happens. But, speaking of what happens this week, Niffle... Niffle bonus is pretty strong, let's put it that way. Because plus 10 HP. Feels bad, man. Niffle is definitely quite a bit more oppressive than Kempf just because she's so much faster and she attacks res. The nice thing about Kempf though is he has that splash damage with Venom Edge. Niffle just gets in combat shenanigans, which is fine, but could be better. But here with this team, I don't really know what to do against safety fence, not gonna lie. Because, well, the obvious thing would be probably putting a far save and maybe near save armored unit, but I don't have anyone who would be anywhere near competent for that anyways. And of course I don't actually have far save, never picked up Henry yet, so that's not happening anytime soon, especially with my collector's policy. So that just spells disaster. Speaking of disaster, I genuinely have no idea why everyone just goes to player face Shamir. Like, why? It's almost like the heavy trap's real. Duma getting to do a good chunk of damage here. And actually, he just does so much damage, Fallen Edelgard can't handle it. So that's a rip from her. And, well, Duma doesn't get to do anything more. Because Duma things. Speaking of Duma things, Regan's just going to get the exact one shot on Duma, 100% not rigged. Didn't really matter, but it would have been nice if we could survive a hit for trolling purposes. But here we have Claude with Fallen Star and whatnot. Legendary Claude's bonus was also quite annoying. Because of course, plus 10 HP with Fallen Star's damage reduction. Might be pretty good. Plus 10 HP is a lot with 80% damage reduction, so yeah. And of course the plus 4 speed, which is probably the most important thing on him. Is the worst thing that could happen to Claude is him getting doubled. That's pretty much it. Or just getting one shot from units that just ignores damage reduction. I've never seen a unit that in the wild that has been able to deal enough damage to one shot through 80% damage reduction in ether raids with the HP inflation. I don't even think a max attack archer with Astra can do it. Because in ether raids, you can get 60, 70 HP if you want to. That's a lot of damage to try and get with 80% damage reduction. But Winter Altina, of course, coming to town with Null Sea Disrupt and Vantage shenanigans, so it's just going to be an easy cleanup for Altina. It's not like this team puts up much of a fight. Literally just have Shamir there just to have Shamir there. I guess maybe it's like 1% Brave Hector deterrent, but not gonna lie, she does okay against a good chunk of Brave Hectors, but she really does not do much else other than that. Fallen Edelgard here, unfortunately, not transformed, so she can't one-shot Elwood, which is a fundamental problem with Fallen Edelgard when she can't one-shot stuff, because she's pretty good at not doubling. Let's just put it that way. Pretty good at not doubling. But yeah, not transformed against dual lift with no counterattack sounds like a plan. Dual lift doesn't get any special charges though, so kind of a small problem there. But now that Fallen Edelgard's taken out, Larshell can proceed to do absolutely nothing. And we're just going to get obliterated by Winter Altina here. So of course Larshell doesn't have very much bulk, but her main bulk is speed and HP, that's it. And Ether Raids. That's the number one problem with like all my strategies in Ether Raids. It's the fact that I just casually cannot seem to pick up kills when I need to because of the HP inflation. In like general content like Arena, where there's a little bit of extra HP from like legendary blessings or whatnot, it's still a big deal, but not as a big deal. In Ether Raids, you see units that typically have maybe 50 HP have 70 or 80 HP, and it's like, makes this a slightly more difficult to deal with. But yeah, we're not gonna worry about that. In the meantime, this person's going to be using safe defense to their advantage to just pick up a free kill on Shamir and call it a day. So yeah, that's the number one use for safe defense. The number two use for safe defense would be to prevent a turn one shenanigan from happening. And then if the turn one shenanigan is odd recovery, then now they're vulnerable because they probably don't also have even recovery. Vulnerable to like isolation or whatnot, but I don't really know how helpful that is. Personally, probably not going to use safe defense unless it's a bonus structure. I imagine it would be useful, but with teams like mine, it's just too slow. We're just too slow to do anything turn one. It's to break structures typically, and then we have to be able to reach the enemy and actually leave on time. Yeah, that's not happening. But of course, naturally, Olivia's not going to pick up the kill on Duel In because, you guessed it, HP inflation. Yeah. Or just stat inflation in general. But yeah, just clean sweep. And quite a few Bride for You arms this week. Actually kind of surprised, not gonna lie, but safe defense continues to be safe defense. And they have Disarm Trap on their Harmonized Mia here, and they barely pick up the... I think the funny part is their Shamir doing 54 base damage. Of course, she wasn't actually going to do that much damage because of the 75% damage reduction from Summer Strikers. But, safe defense doing safe defense things. This defense is just an absolute meme. It's just a merge plonk defense, not designed to be actually good by any means. It can do stuff if people don't do the right thing. But like here, Elwood, he can't even take out Reagan in one shot. And so that's an oof. But the big thing is, this is where not having quick impulse comes to bite us, because otherwise we would have been able to proc Gale Force, and that would have been pretty nice to pick up a kill, but what's done is done. Yeah, at the end of the day, somehow we made top 1k. Spoilers, we made top 1k in Ether Raids this particular season. I have no idea how. But I guess that's to be expected on occasion. But here comes the damage reduction from Harmonized Mia here. Just doing solid things. Lift healing a whopping 4 damage. So pop. That's the number one reason why Duo Alphons fell out. Besides Duo's Hindrance, like even if Duo's Hindrance is not on defense, Duo Alphons is still struggling just because he couldn't heal enough. The scaling off of Open the Future for healing was not great, because the bottleneck was less so the damage and more so the enemy's HP stat. Because if you can only heal, 25% of the damage you deal, if the enemy has like 50 HP, you're only healing, 12, 13? That's probably 12 HP or something like that. And chances are they're probably going to do more than 12 damage to you. So, and of course that's assuming you actually do that much damage on the one shot. But yeah, I don't know. Safety fence here, doing safety fence things. They don't do anything funny turn one. But lots of dual ins. It's to be expected because this defense doesn't do anything against dual in. Like, Lif cannot tank dual in because he has no HP. You could stack up his defense a ton, but you can always, with the dagger debuffs, for example, from dual in and units like dual peony buff, you can basically never get enough defense. You could probably at some point get enough defense to where you can tank, but at that point, the rest of your defense is suffering because you invested all your resources and skills into that. But yeah, at least Elwood here gets to do Elwood things and pick up a kill here. And again, I don't know if he would have doubled Lachesis without, I think it's Swift Sparrow Seal, but if we had Quink and Pulse on, we could have Gale Forced. But nope. Elwood, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to give him plus 15 Dragonflowers because, of course, with this most recent update, the Dragonflowers cap increased. And, well, you know, some of my units like Nino are plus 20 now. Feels good. Although it doesn't really do anything. Let's be real, it doesn't actually do that much. It's more for the flex value. Nino does use all the stats though, so that's nice. I just don't. I think the most relevant thing is probably her vantage range HP threshold. And I'm probably going to screw up damage calcs because she's probably going to... She has one more attack, so everything's plus one. So I guess she maxes out a 109 attack now, which is okay. Maxes out 73 speed, which is garbo, to say the least. But here they have Picnic Flora here. Just going to wall Larshell, of course, because Flora actually has a res stat, especially with some particular units buffing her res. And of course she has her dagger, and Larshell kinda does not have a very high res stat, so Larshell's getting debuffed pretty heavily. And of course they have their Surtur here. Elwa doesn't quite get murdered here, but it doesn't matter because it's not like her team can really do anything. Surtur is just too tanky here. We have nothing to really deal with him. Like, Shamir would not deal with him well. Just because she procs the special on the first hit, and that's when he gets his 75% damage reduction. So, that wouldn't end well. I hear Surtur just spamming out bonfires is the drill with near save, and he's probably one of the best units for it. Is the whole idea with this is even though you're getting doubled in the second attack, you have no damage reduction against. If you can just one-shot the enemy unit before they get their second attack in, voila, you get 75% damage reduction, and you're just chilling. But yeah, this was not even close. To be expected, but meh. I think we're probably nearing close to the end of the replays here. Here we have ourselves a Gale Force team. Like, Gatekeeper on defense would be pretty decent for screwing over teleportation shenanigans, because 4 spaces is a lot of spaces. Like, if Gatekeeper was where Duma was, I wouldn't put Gatekeeper there if I had him. But where Dual Lin is, no one can actually teleport to that tile. It's a pretty large range. Moderately large range. So, there's that. And here, I don't know what's worse. Duma being unable to counterattack because I don't have distant counter on him, or the fact Dual Lin with dragon effective damage only did 35 times 2 base damage. I don't know what's worse. But of course, here with the dual lift and dual income, they get Wings of Mercy range on dual in. So like that would really screw over dual in strategies a decent amount. It wouldn't be a perfect check because you can just fling all your dancers in anyways with stuff like Pathfinder and whatnot. And that's not teleportation, that's just moving. So Azura here with its curtains, proccing Gale Force and taking out some red units. And Larshell's stuck sandwiched between the fountain and the catapult with nothing she can do about it. And Azura is just going to pick up the clean kill. And here we have ourselves Summer Freya, probably paired up with Valyria, New Year's Valyria, I would imagine. Yeah, that would make sense. To run at noontime. So, the number one problem here is that sure, Freya has her damage reduction, but the problem is your noontime scaling. Because again, if you have, like most of my units, let's just say they're around 50 HP. Noontime at best can only heal you for 15, and you're probably going to be taking more than 15 damage a shot from the super strong enemies. So you're just going to be at a net loss for HP, and that can be a huge problem. So they decide to pick up the kill on Duma here. And Duma doing Duma things is just going to get one round KO, having done not very much. He gets to do a whopping 2 damage. And Freya just heals back the 2 damage, so nothing happened. But Valyria isn't in range, and Larshell. So Liv gets some chances to swing at Freya, so does Larshell, and Larshell's pretty decently fast, so she actually ignores all the speed-based damage reduction, and Ellawood manages to also do that and pick up the kill there. So Lift did not have to do too much there, and he's not going to be doing too much here as Valyria obliterates him with Bonfire. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like for my Anima defense, it would just have to be... It would be either some turn 1 shenanigan that's just objectively worse than most turn 1 shenanigans, or something along the lines of Potato Fest 3.0. I don't think anyone here who's been watching my videos probably have no idea what Potato Bowl 3.0 is, but let's not worry about that if I ever actually bring it back. Potato Bowl 3.0 is weird. But it's basically meme stall with offensive presence. Don't think it would be very good. But with safety fence around, I just kind of feel like the turn 1 shenanigans probably not good enough for me. I'd probably have to do... yeah, I'm not sure. Of course, the most popular choice is just cav line variants because people tend to stack structures a lot. So even if you have safety fence, the problem is you might not even be able to get safety fence to activate. So there's that problem. But yeah, that's all the results here, and so that's the end of the recording of the replays here. So we'll be back with the other clips. Next clip will be of the rankings of a few hours closer towards the end of the season, and then of course the actual results. And now here we are in our awkwardly set up video. Looks like we did actually manage to make top 1k. Kind of surprised. That means people struggled a bit this week if we made top 1k with that kind of lift. It's around the range for top 1k, but typically it's not like that. So this week we have the option of trying to stay in the vaults using our usual meme team, or we could try using Fjorm because she did get her refine. It is not terrible. It's not the greatest. But I might give it a go. We'll see. I think the number one problem is we're just going to run into issues with being unable to kill enemy units. That is going to be Fjorm's number one problem. On top of also just dying. There's no way she can face tank everything. That would be nice, but yeah, it's not happening. So I'm not sure. I might try using Fjorm. I feel like might as well try using Ice Mirror too. We'll see how that goes. That sounds terrible. At least she gets HP for Ice Mirror. That's not saying much though. Especially with units that attack twice like Reinhardt or whatnot. Ice Mirror is not fantastic. You basically have to carry yourself with stats. Oh, you know, Fjorm. Where is she? This is not the... I'll probably be running something along these lines. I never actually gave her a solid B skill, so we might actually run Shield Pulse. And I genuinely have no idea for Seal. We could go Steady Breath to get special acceleration, but then we just have no way of killing. So I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna do with that. Because if we see like Potato Ball, it doesn't. I don't even know if Fallen Edelgard's too big of a problem. I think the problem would just be like Brave Edelgard even, just because my team has no. There's just no damage output against greens. Heck, even Brave Hector is a problem. Or even like the new Surtur. Yeah, there's so many units, or even Nifl will just give Fjorm a tough time. Claude would make Fjorm's life impossible. Yeah, I feel like it's just gonna be suffering, but we might try it out. Until then, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!